This video covers the group and team concepts. These are all in reference to how groups communicate. You're going to find everything from roles and power, networks, cohesiveness, status, rules, and norms. And some of the things that you're learning in this unit are about groups in general, especially the more complex groups, maybe a half a semester assignment that you have in a class. And some of them are not necessarily going to be applicable to the smaller, shorter group project that we are working on in class. So there, you need to understand all the principles, but you won't be applying all the principles with our group project. The first concept with groups is rules and norms. Rules are explicit, officially stated guidelines that govern what the group is supposed to do and how they're supposed to behave. This would be setting standards like the frequency of meetings and where you meet and how you communicate. You're going to communicate through this channel and we expect a response within 24 hours, whatever those things are. For our group project, it is not going to require a whole set of rules. You're going to figure out when and where you're going to meet, but that's probably the most that you'll probably do. Although in a group, you might have people raise their hand. If you're using Blackboard Collaborate or another platform, how do you keep people from interrupting each other? You might have rules for that. Norms are the informal rules or expectations that govern the group and their behaviors. Sometimes they're not actually explicit, they're implicit or they're implied. And so those are our informal expectations. Status is another factor that comes into play in groups. Each group member has a certain aspect of status. Some will have more power than others. It's often based on different factors like the resources or the knowledge or information that one has, even attractiveness plays a role in status. But higher status members usually have more weight in decision making. And so that's just a concept that you should be familiar with. So power is often directly related to status. It's the ability to influence other people's behavior. And in a group, you may have an appointed leader or a leader that has volunteered to be the leader. You do not necessarily have to have a leader, a designated leader. Everybody has the ability to influence other people's behavior, whether or not they have the role of being the group leader if one is needed. So the different types of power that people can exhibit, there is legitimate power that is having respect for the position, and maybe you do have somebody that was appointed or self-appointed or appointed by somebody else to take charge of the group. You have referent power, which is just the influence that you have because you're liked. And so you don't have to be an official leader in order to have referent power, for example, that's being liked. So be nice to people. Expert power, of course, would be somebody has knowledge or expertise on a particular topic. Reward power is if you have the ability to provide rewards to your group. Or coercive power, which is the ability to punish or impose sanctions. And because each of you are going to be grading each other on your group project, you do have the ability to reward or have coercive power, right? Just so you know, I'm highly suspect if you grade everybody with an A. I usually doubt that because you all decide, well, let's just give each other an A and she'll give you an A. No, in fact, I will scrutinize your evaluation even more if you give everybody A's. Usually not everybody deserves an A. And so I take those very seriously. So you do have power because you are grading each other. My grade for your group project is partially based on how you grade each other. And so it is quite possible for someone to get an A on our group project, and someone could get an F, and someone could get a C, and someone could get a B. I don't give everybody the same grade. Maybe that's a sigh of relief for you. So when it comes time to grading your group members, you are going to be justifying the grade. You're going to tell me how they contributed, but you must include these roles. So we have different types of roles. There are 4 different categories: formal, task, maintenance, and dysfunctional. There are lots of roles within each of these categories. So you can't just say they exhibited task roles. You have to be specific. You'll see those on the next slides. I'll walk you through those. But the roles are the way that a person communicates with the other group members. And these are actually a type of leadership skill. Okay? It's important to know that these are naturally occurring with the exception of a formal role. The formal roles would be assigned, right? If you had to have somebody take notes and record the conversations, that would be an appointed role. But the other roles are all things that naturally occur, they're not assigned. So let's look at the different categories of roles. We will look at task, maintenance, and dysfunctional roles. Task roles. Task roles are all about helping your group stay on task, not get sidetracked, right? And so there's an information giver, an information seeker, an elaborator, initiator, and an administrator. You're just naturally going to be doing some of those, not just one. Usually you'll have several. Are you sharing information? Information giver offers facts, beliefs, experience. Information seeker is asking other people to contribute. Like, what do you think? Or clarifying what somebody else says, an idea, or asking people for their opinions. That's an information seeker. They're all very common sense, so I do like these names. Elaborator, you're providing clarification on points. Or paraphrasing, right? We learned that from our listening section. Paraphrasing what other people have said. Initiator moves the group forward. Maybe you're running out of time. You're trying to suggest new ideas, right? You're trying to keep going. Administrator helps keep the conversations on track because we all know how easy it is to get sidetracked, right? That little squirrel, off topic. What'd you do over the weekend? Whatever's happening in sports, right? So we want to try to keep those conversations on track. And an administrator just naturally redirects the group back on task. Maintenance roles, also known as social roles, help the feeling of the group, the environment. You know that sometimes you can just feel tension with another person, or you can feel like things are going well. And so these roles help the group feel good, right? Harmonizer would be smoothing over any tension. Gatekeeper is the person that is helping to make sure everybody contributes, inviting somebody who hasn't spoken up to participate. And for those people who talk too much, the gatekeeper would say, "Oh, I just love those ideas. Thank you so much for sharing. But I'd like to hear what each person says. How about if we just take 30 seconds and each person take one turn and say 3 things about the issue," right? So the gatekeeper is helping to minimize the talkative ones and include the quiet ones. The censor expresses group feelings and moods. Sometimes in a group, you get real frustrated. They would say, "Boy, it seems like everybody might be feeling a little frustrated, a little stressed out. Maybe we need a 5-minute break. Let's just breathe. Let's go grab a snack." In a live face-to-face meeting, go out and get fresh air and come back. You could possibly do that virtually as well, right? Encourager, who is trying to foster group solidarity, right? Being offering praise, right? "Oh, that's a great idea. I'm so glad that we're thinking that way," right? I think everybody needs more encouragement. We should all be encouraging more people every day. And a coordinator pulls together ideas and suggestions, tries to help make sense of things, helps you feel more organized and on track. An energizer helps prod the group to move along, like that administrator, but it's really trying to get the feeling, the momentum, the energizing. Hey, boy, we're getting close to done. Let's really keep going here. It's all about the feelings, and that the word positivity that everybody likes to use would be something that would be in this category. The roles that we often will find in groups that we don't like and we don't want to be are the dysfunctional or anti-group roles. Blockers are the naysayers, using destructive communication. But it's also not it's not saying no, I'm not sure how that idea would work. I'm confused on how that would work. I don't think that would work. That's not a blocker. That's using I language and you're trying to be productive. But saying no to every idea, no, I don't like that. No, 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 that would be a blocker, roadblocks, or any negative communication, right? That accusatory you language, that would be considered blocking because it's keeping the group from moving forward. Avoiders change the subject, or they're cynical, or they're just not even responding, right? They're the quiet ones in the group. Being quiet in a group project is not okay because you are graded and you have ideas and information to contribute. Everybody needs to contribute to the group. Otherwise, you're an avoider, and that would receive, you should receive a lower grade. I don't know why people give A's to avoiders. Avoiders don't deserve an A on a group project. Recognition seekers, those are the all about me. Right? It's all about me and what I think. Really, it has nothing to do what anybody thinks. Really, it's about, you're going to learn in our last video, it's all about how does our solutions meet our criteria. It has nothing to do what anybody thinks. Okay, so you're going to do this though. You're going to say, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. It's not about I, it's about we, and it's about solving the issue, and it's tough. Distractors go off on tangents. That's the squirrel, off topic, talk about the fun or the concert or athletics or whatever. Trolls insert irrelevant, inflammatory comments. Yes, just like in social media. So, right, being afraid, that is intimidating. And that's actually what part of groupthink. That's an issue that you're learning in this unit as well. And that's not helpful for the group. Resentful, blame, defensive, disinterested, lazy, narcissistic, none of those are helpful for our groups. Group networks are just different communication patterns that tend to occur within group situations. There are three. There's the all channel. Oops, one got cut off right here. All channel was everybody's communicating with everybody. Chain, messages are conveyed through one person at a time, like the old telephone game, if you're familiar with that. The wheel network, one person receives most of the messages and sends them out. This is just an FYI. I mean, you're going to have a live meeting for your group project, and so it'll be this all network type of communication, but not all groups can do that type of communication. So there are other networks. Our last video is going to cover leadership and how to problem solve in a group.